Hi guys, we are Killarney Senior Solutions and my name is Jeffrey. This is Benson, that's Henry, and this is Vincent. And we are proud to present to you Senior Buddy. So coming from Chinese immigrant background, our parents never really had the time to take care of their own parents while trying to provide for us. Without much knowledge of the English language, our grandparents often struggle to get past the language barrier that exists. So as a result, we are left without proper care by the caregivers, and they do not know how to communicate with them. In order to resolve this issue, we visualized and conceptualized Senior Buddy. Introducing SeniorBuddy.ca, a brand new website offering the busy working class an easy and convenient way for the caregivers to find seniors to take care of. So many working class citizens have no time to constantly provide and care for their elderly loved ones. As a result, many seniors are taking out the comfort of their very own homes and shelved away in senior homes and forgotten about. In such a diverse city like Vancouver, there are numerous groups of minorities out there with their own culture, and we need caregivers that speak the same language as them.
Transaction for Senior Buddy is very simple. So a family visits SeniorBuddy.ca and goes through a list of caregivers in their area. Based on what they need, say like your senior needs to take medication or like needs to, be taken care of or looked after. You can find the right caregiver for you and set up an appointment. The caregiver shows up for the appointment and takes care of your seniors. Afterwards, they get paid. And then you can also go back on the website and you can give them a review and see like how good they were.
So Senior Buddy offers a cheaper alternative over other competitors, as well as many languages spoken by minorities. To begin, we will start with Punjabi and Cantonese, the two most spoken languages in Vancouver. So Senior Buddy provides convenience for working class individuals who do not have the time to care for their elderly loved ones. Furthermore, Senior Buddy has a diverse caregiver base that can communicate with seniors properly and establish genuine relationships. In addition, users can save valuable time from interviewing individual caregivers and doing reference checks to ensure that their loved ones are in safe hands.
So for our national market opportunity, we researched that there are 5.9 million Canadian seniors, and 92% of seniors live at home. And 25% of Canada's population will consist of seniors by 2036. And for our local market opportunity, we researched that 98,000 over the age of 65 in Vancouver, and 37% of seniors in Vancouver require care. And 25.9% of seniors in Vancouver are of visible minority.
So looking at our TAM, SAM, and SOM, we could see that we can expect to obtain 0.2% of the 98,000 seniors living in Vancouver right now, or approximately 196 seniors in the first year. So how are we going to acquire these customers, you may ask? Now, in order to do that, we will market the product through the method that we believe would be the most effective, which is social media. Why is it effective? Because look at the customer base that these websites and apps simply have. It's enormous. Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter have really prominent customer bases that we can utilize to maximize our advertising. On top of that, we will also be utilizing traditional advertising. It's low cost, and we can also put it in local Vancouver newspapers such as the Vancouver Sun and the Province. On top of that, we can put advertisements in multicultural media platforms such as Punjabi radio and Chinese newspapers to get the message out to minorities. In addition, we can put advertisements in local senior homes and community centers as well.
Our ideal target market is Generation X, people born in 1960 to 1980. They are old enough to have elderly parents, but also young enough to be tech savvy, know more than one language, and also have a full-time job. Senior Buddy is going to be channeled to consumers through two primary platforms. Upon launch, to minimize developing costs, we've chosen to develop Senior Buddy on a website. In the foreseeable future, we may choose to expand Senior Buddy to alternative platforms such as apps, and we will use iOS or Android.
So our first year production cost is going to be $71,000. This is from the $10,000 to develop our website, along with $3,000 for maintenance and any updates we will have along the way. There's also a $12,000 for our logos, trademarks, and any advertisement we do. And we hire 3 part-time IT workers to further develop our app, which has an annual salary of $15,000 per worker, totaling up to $45,000 in employment fees. There's also a $1,000 for any miscellaneous costs. So our break-even point is going to be projected within 3 to 4 months in our first year. So our initial cost is $71,000 as previously stated, and then how we get our revenue is multiplying how many seniors we have in a given year. So let's say in our first year, which is projected to be 196 seniors, multiply that by 200 days, because typically they're not going to use our service every day, so that's where you got the 200 from, along with $30, which is how much on average a caretaker would charge, and 3 hours, which is how much they would also work for. So we get, and then take 10% of that, so we get $352,800 within the first year. And obtaining our financial assets, we can go to federal government grants, and we can also ask banks for small business loans, as well as crowdfunders such as Indiegogo and Kickstarter.
So in the first month of operations, we begin development of the website and begin reaching out to individual caregivers and introduce them to Senior Buddy as a platform to find work. In the 4th month, the website will be completed and released to the public. In the 8th month, we will gather feedback from any consumers and caregivers and implement them. And we also reevaluate the competition based on their performance and adjust accordingly. In our final months of operation the first year, we will begin looking at expansion opportunities into other cities in Vancouver.
So our market validation, we surveyed 48 people of the age 40 and up, and 42 of them agreed that saying our service is needed, as there's a variety of languages that seniors should have. But then 6 of them turned this down due to the fact that the lack of trust as new senior caretakers have on their grandparents.
Our investment potential is from social welfare government departments, ride-sharing apps like Uber to take our caregivers around, and charities such as Red Cross, local community centers, and also places of worships.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think that I have 2 questions, but I'll let my fellow panelists also speak. So you just mentioned the trust piece, and I think that's really important for an app like this. So I'm curious what you have done in terms of planning for any legal issues or insurance piece of this.
Okay, so we prioritize safety because we realize that elderly age demographic is the most vulnerable out of all of that. So we will be conducting background criminal checks on caregivers and look at their expertise to ensure that loved ones are in safe hands. So for insurance-wise, we need to make sure that these elders are covered in medication and any possible costs that may occur during the taking care of these seniors. And on top of that, we just have to ensure that caregivers have to be honest, and in order to achieve that, we will be allowing families to leave reviews after the seniors have been taken care of as feedback, so that other users can see how good the caregiver is.
So essentially, what you're creating is a booking system for caregivers. Can you tell us a little bit more about your business model? Who's paying you, and are you charging both the caregiver or a percentage? Like, where are you creating revenue for yourself and your investors?
Okay, so for each transaction, we are looking to approximately a 10% charge. So we will also be incentivizing caregivers to stay on our platform by offering them packages. So say one family really likes this one caregiver in particular. So if they wanted to, they could book, let's say, another 10 appointments in advance. And by doing that, we could discount the fee for that. So in order to discount that fee, would be taking less of a charge. So let's say instead of 10%, we take only 7%. And that would make sure that caregivers have guaranteed work contracts coming up, and that seniors are taken care of by a familiar caretaker.
Okay, great. So is it the person looking for care, or the caregiver who pays the fee?
It's the person looking for care that has to pay the fee out of it. So.
Hey guys, nice job. I'm curious about the decision to limit the market to Vancouver for the first year. What are some of the factors that drove you to come to that conclusion?
Since we live in Vancouver, we realize that a lot of seniors do not speak the same language as English, right? So there's a lot of different languages, and we saw that it's a need. And we realized that there's also this need in outside of Vancouver, but for now, we believe that in the first year, we should be able to do a realistic market which is inside Vancouver, because that's what we feel we would be able to target in the first year. And then after the first year, we will begin looking at opportunities to expand into other cities as well, such as Toronto, which also have large visible minority communities.
Okay. Sorry. I also had a question about the fact that it's a two-sided marketplace, and so you're gonna have to build up the side of both the supply and the demand. And when you were saying that your marketing strategy is going to be social media, I was curious about that, because your ideal target market is 60 people who are 68 or older, or some such thing, and that might not be, in my opinion, it might not be the best place to reach that target market. The social media is your primary way that you're gonna get your customers. And so I'm curious if you could speak to that, why you chose social media with that specific demographic, and if you had any other alternative ways to go with that.
Okay, so our actual senior target market is Generation X, which is people born in the 1960s and 1980s. So we chose this target market because they actually are old enough to have parents that are of the senior demographic, but then yet they are young enough to utilize social media. And there's also a perfect mix because they also use traditional advertising methods, which mean they watch newspapers, they read newspapers, they watch television, and they listen to the radio. So social media is also a huge part of it, because Generation X is also a huge utilizer of social media. Thank you.
Thank you.